Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails. Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast, episode number 98. Today, we've got your favorite back in the Studio 78 with Mr. Turd'L Miller. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast. This is episode number 98. We are here, 22nd Street Trailhead, Studio 78, sitting next to Studio 2K11 is what we decided.
Nice.
Which is 2011 for those that don't know the K thing. It's not like a 5K or a 401K or
and it's not like
100K.
It's not like Roman noodles, right?
Ramen noodles or anything.
Ooh.
But it's dark. It's late.
Is it?
It's one of our latest shows. It's in the evening hours, around 7:15 at night.
Which is not our normal podcast time.
No, and you got three dudes. Oh, I just gave part of our guest away. You said dude. Of course, when people look at who's on the show, it says episode 98 with the name, so it's not like they have to wait that long to figure out.
Maybe you shouldn't put the name.
Then people wouldn't.
But they're going to recognize that iconic voice right away.
That is, that soothing, kind of Barry White-ish Keith Sweat.
How you doing?
Yeah, no, maybe not. So, we got Turd'L Miller with us.
Back in the house.
Back in the house. He brought us some Beto's burritos.
Yep.
Some horchata Blue Moon
Beer.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying one of those. Not
so
bad.
I think first of all, I think we ought to call it Nueve Ocho, not 98.
Okay.
Because we had burritos and horchata beer.
Okay,
right?
so that's what 98 is in Espanol.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to believe you because I don't know Spanish.
Nueve Ocho.
Nueve Ocho.
But yeah.
But we've been here for about an hour pre-gaming.
We have.
And we've had people stop by the bus.
Yep.
The guy does Springer vans.
Yeah.
Decks them out. And
the license plate guy.
Yeah, license plate house by where we do our podcast. Kind of talked to him a little bit about some facelift renovations for Studio 78.
What was his business called?
Spinner Specialties.
Spinner Specialties.
Yeah. Sweet house, hooks up spinners. Was looking in Turd'L's Spinner van. You could tell he was a little disappointed, but, there's always room for improvement.
he was a little disappointed, wasn't he?
I think it was because
but
the
he
dirty.
liked my seats.
He did.
He did.
He was like, dude, those are sweet seats.
He's like, thanks. They're from
It's like, yeah.
Pinto.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it Espanol.
Did
It's
you
from
say
a Pinto.
Pinto? Did you say a Ford Pinto?
So they're from a Pinto. So we got Turd'L back. He's in town. We always like to catch up with Turd'L, see what he's up to.
Well, we did have Luke on last week, so anytime we have Luke on,
I know
Turd'L's got to get back on.
It's like the 1-2 punch.
It is.
It really is.
Yep.
It's like the...
But he's number 2, let's be honest.
I can do better.
Well, usually, first we let me go first, and then he followed up, and now he went first, but he's not here to watch, and I'm kind of sad.
It is kind of sad.
I missed Luke.
I saw him at the Bear this past weekend, hung out with him a little bit.
Did he say to give me a hug?
He didn't. I actually said something about you, and he wasn't sure. He didn't know who you were. So I don't know if that was just kind of a straight arm, little Heisman pose for him, or what it was. But
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about races and race directors, and I said, "Oh yeah, Turd'L does a race," and what? I was like, "It's all right. We'll talk later."
That's all right. No, I get it.
No, you're global. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. You're huge in Latvia. We get a lot of comments from
Eastern
Latvia.
European.
Yeah, huge.
Well, it's either that or Japan, so I'll be big wherever.
That's a different type of big in Japan as opposed to big in Latvia.
Big
so, but yeah, we kind of followed you all year, right?
Yeah.
We did the Turd'L tracker for quite some time until you quit sending us info, and we knew you were kind of plateauing a little bit.
Felt like
he
the
found his
toes were
happy
bothering you.
Yeah, you sent pictures of your feet We,
right.
on the scale, which was pretty bad.
Every once in a while, we get the butt shot in the mirror.
The video.
You did
right.
that.
You guys liked that one.
I didn't get that. You showed that to me on it, probably as an accident. But yeah, that was fun.
I have that for blackmail purposes still.
Well, you can't blackmail someone that doesn't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well,
I think everybody's seen that.
everybody's got one thing, right?
Right. And
That's
ass. That's what I got.
Yeah. Wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
I just remember Joe's like, we got to get him into bomber athletes, start working out. He's sagging a little bit.
He's sagging a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross.
But so it's been a few weeks, 3-ish since Wasatch.
Yeah.
And we had you on early in the wintertime when you were ready to, before you started your weight loss,
Right.
before you started your getting ready for the race. But we followed you all year.
How much did you weigh when we
First
started this
started.
journey?
Like $2, $200.
Yeah.
200 pounds.
And you got down to,
the lowest I got to was to 154.
so you lost
Whoa.
like a second grader
Yeah.
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah.
Second, maybe third grader.
Yeah.
Depends on if-
mid third grade.
Yeah, mid third grade. Like spring break, third grader.
Oh my God.
I mean, how did that? I mean, because I met up with you, I don't know, sometime between that point and for breakfast, you had a piece of toast and a fried egg.
2 eggs over medium,
Yeah.
dry wheat toast.
And that's pretty. I mean, were you pretty diligent with that? All that?
Yeah, one of the things I realized last year at, thinking back on what happened at Wasatch and whatnot, is I just kind of realized that I was too heavy, and as much as I ran to get prepared and as much as I exercised, you can't out-exercise a shitty diet. So I had to just basically sit down and focus on, first of all, just reining in the calories. I mean, it's just straight up number of calories in, number of calories out. And if you don't know how many calories are coming in, you have no idea how to lose the weight. And so that's just what I did, was just paid attention to the calories and what I was eating, and it just the weight started dropping off, because I've been real consistent with the running too, so that helped.
Yeah. So was it like, happened quick? Like the first little bit happened quick and then you plateaued, or was everything you were doing, was it pretty like baseline the whole way, pretty even?
I don't know. I didn't document the weight real well as it came off. The problem with weight loss is you go up a pound, you go down 2. You go up a pound, you go up 2 pounds. You go down 3. You go down, you know what I mean? You go up and down and up and down. So if you weigh yourself every day, it kind of lets you see, when you're doing well, but it's also a lot of times you'll be after a run, and if you're running in St. George and it's 110, you tend to lose a little weight.
I don't know why you do that though.
Just happens.
That part I don't understand. If it's 110,
you get ready for the heat at Wasatch.
Oh, because 110. It gets pretty hot at Wasatch.
It does.
It was like 120 this year.
Yep. And all those drops, all those drops happen before Lambs.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's where it happens, is in the heat of the day.
Yep.
You make it through the heat of the day, you're fine.
For the most part, I think so. Yeah.
So you were. Did you notice any difference with your training and with your calorie reduction? Were you more fatigued? Did you not run as long? Were you tired?
One of the things that I think I want to say benefited me, but I had a kind of an early March kind of injury, so I wasn't able to put on big miles. But what I did was I still focused on, making sure that I continued to run 2 miles at least every day.
Right.
And so a lot of times I was just simply running 5 laps around the block that my house is on, and that gives you 2 miles. And just by staying consistent, it meant that when I did start feeling better, my ankle stopped bothering me. I could get out there and feel confident. I still had that fitness level that I'd gone into that injury with.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I started to drop down, one of the first things I noticed is I got down to about 180, 185, somewhere in there, and I really started to notice how much easier it was to run at a speed that I felt was normal. I mean, before, when I'm at 200 pounds, you're struggling to run that 11-minute mile, and 10 is like, oh my God, I'm killing it. Whereas, you get down to that 180, 185 range, and I can run 930s and not feel like I'm really hammering that hard. So that was pretty big. There's a lot of driving incentive once I started to see that speed pick up and started to, You know, I mean, a lot of us will run the same routes a lot of times,
Yeah.
and if you look at your Strava times and you see that your times are decreasing and you're getting faster and you're starting to get back to those, you know, closer to those KOMs that are out there, whether you ever actually get to them or not. You're seeing your personal KOM get closer to where it used to be at one point. It's invigorating. It makes you really want to go out and run even harder and run even faster and work even harder at losing that weight, because you're seeing improvements in those times.
And so, did your training was consistent? Your eating was, you know, consistent.
Yep.
When did you start like adding that extra mileage? You know, like instead of like a 2 mile. I know you doing that because you're of injury, but when did you start ramping up mileage? And then again, you had Squaw Peak in June.
Yeah. So usually, what I try to do is, you know, I try 3 and 4 weeks out from a big event. I try to get in a good training block, whether that means, you know, and again, that depends on your build up to that, but I'm trying to get to 50, 60, 70 miles at the most when I'm 3-4 weeks out.
So for 1 week, like 60 or 70, or is that like 2 or 3 weeks?
A couple weeks in a row.
Okay.
Is usually. You know, the 50 miler I can usually get by on one like marathon distance at 3 or 4 weeks out. I think it gets your legs a little bit ready. When you're doing a 100 miler, I like to go out and do, you know, 2 or 3 at least days in a row of marathon distance or longer. I wasn't able to get that this year, but I did have some back-to-back-to-back weeks of 50K, like 50K run on the weekend, or
Right.
you know what I mean?
We did Speed Goat, Vaquero.
El Vaquero, and then
Right.
that lap one up in Morgan, which that was, you know, I've never, I mean, I think we all get into trail and ultra and we start to like the trails more than we like the ultra distance, but that was one that I just kind of, you know, I was on the phone with the wife and I was just walking and realized I'd been on the phone with her for an hour and I'd only gone a mile, and I thought, you know, I probably ought to go run a little bit further just so that I don't look like I ran a mile an hour, right? And so I just started running on the track, and 2 hours later I thought, well, let's just keep running. I got nothing to do tonight, and next thing you know, I'd run a 50K and I thought that was actually, it was fun because you didn't have to, you could just zone out and not pay attention and listen to your podcast and know that you got water and goos and gels and everything you want right there, and you just run.
Wow, I didn't know you did that.
I
And
didn't
there was a lot more. I had a lot more fun with that mental aspect of it than, you know what I mean? Just because your mind starts playing tricks on you, I think, after a little while. But you can kind of mess with your pace and go, okay, I'm going to run this next mile at 9-minute pace, and you can just sit and click off 4 laps in a row and go, okay, that was good. Now let's grab a bottle of water or whatever and keep running. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But I guess my point is those 3 training blocks really those 3 training weekends, I think, gave me confidence that I was going to do okay at Wasatch.
Right.
Well, I mean, we were up at Vaquero with you, and you look great there. You know, I ran with you just for a little bit to the turnaround, but you had a great time. Like your race time, you had a good time because you were laughing the whole time. But
Right.
I mean, it was good to see you run well. In fact, we talked about it on the show. I was running near some guys, and one guy was pretty pumped because he kept pace with you to the turnaround. He said
he did.
he was walking out, and
excited.
he's like, "Man," he goes, I think I'm doing all right. I was close to Turd'L Miller at the turnaround."
Yeah.
And so I think now you're the new
Marker.
standard,
the
right?
marker.
New
Yeah.
standard, yes.
Yeah, the standard at Vaquero.
Right.
Yeah,
That's-
Luke used to be the standard.
Yeah, now you're the standard, the El
you
Turd'L.
used to see where you were when Luke came back the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, right?
And that was my point
was
of, okay, I'm
my
doing well,
gauge
or
too, yeah.
I'm struggling, but now it's going to be the El Turd'L, right?
Well, on both of those 250Ks, El Vaquero and Speed Goat, one of the things I really tried to do was push hard and not get past and have enough left, and I didn't get past the second half.
Right.
And that was I did it at Speed Goat and had a lot of fun and ran really hard that last 7 miles of downhill and felt like I did a pretty good job coming out of that trail and ultra Craig Lloyd's aid station back there that Rock used to run.
Yeah.
But then at El Vaquero, I did the same thing. I just felt like I was powerful and strong and could really move on that big old uphill and then back out through through the end of that course. And,
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that kind of gave me confidence at Wasatch. Just that I felt like I ran the second half of those races as strong, if not stronger, than I ran the first half. I knew how to kind of pace that well.
And neither one of those races, I mean, obviously Speed Goat's got quite the reputation, but even El Vaquero has, it's sneaky, right?
Yeah.
It's people you look at it, you don't realize it's not an easy course.
Yeah, right.
You know, for a 50K, that back 20, I mean, the first part you're going downhill, that'll wear on you, but coming back up, it's just a grind. So back-to-back weeks on 2 pretty tough courses, that would give you some confidence for sure.
Well, and after Speed Goat, I really didn't know if I would have it in me to do Vaquero. I mean, I didn't run a whole lot the whole week. I just kind of ran 2 miles a day. But, a couple days before, I was like, all right, my legs feel okay. And then the day before, I got up there and, and it felt good. And so I just figured, why not? Let's go. Try it.
Nice. So heading into Wasatch, it was a few weeks after Vaquero, 3 or so. I mean, were you confident heading in? No issues, like your ankle or anything else? I mean, you're pretty relaxed and ready to go at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 10 days out from Wasatch. I was down in Arizona. I had a sales trip I had to make down there, and I went and played on a mountain that somebody had told me about, and coming down at dark, kind of about 7:30, 8 o'clock, I rolled my ankle and I didn't have a headlamp with me, so I ended up limping back in with my iPhone, the iPhone light, and I've never had to do that before, and so that made me a little nervous because it was pretty sore. So I wore a brace through Wasatch. I wore my Incrediwear brace, and then for certain sections of it, I took a stabilizing brace and wrapped it around it because I knew that was a section that was, a place where you could roll your ankle. Like coming down into Alexander Spring, I had it on, and coming into Swallow Rocks, I had it on, just because I knew that was a section that you can roll your ankle pretty easily, and just having that extra stabilization was there. But I had zero problems at Wasatch with the ankle at all. So, but that's something I did before my first Wasatch too. Is I rolled my ankle like 3 weeks out, and it was just kind of one of those things that said, "Hey, by the way, your training cycle is over. Go in. You need to start. You need to start tapering. You need to quit screwing around and just relax."
Well, we need to talk off mic about what me and Joel do for tapering, because I probably could have helped you out a little bit.
Right.
You taper up too, don't you?
Yeah,
taper up too.
And then you don't have to worry about that type of thing.
Well, that was kind of what I was listening to. I listened to Trail Manners like everybody out there, and I knew that you guys did that, and I was planning on just not really running hard, but definitely not tapering the 3 weeks that I normally do. But when you roll your ankle and because you're out there pushing hard a week and a half out, you kind of listen to your body and go, oh yeah, okay.
Well, you must not listen to too much of the Trail Manners podcast, because me and Joel always talk about being prepared. Like when you're in somewhere you're not used to, not having a headlamp at night. That's just poor planning. So you must have missed that
there
episode.
Was that.
Yeah,
yeah, there was
that whole last 8 months that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
that.
so I'm going to send you the 8 months worth of links.
But I was prepared.
Yeah, he had his phone.
I had my phone, right? I had my phone with the light on it, so I had the ability to take care of myself.
But you were already hurt before that. But if you would have had your headlamp,
I self-extracted a la Ty Draney.
Yeah, I like that. That's okay. So you heard that show, so that's good. Nice. So you were at Wasatch, and we tracked you all day. We were excited for you because we knew what it meant to you to not just do that race, but it looked like you were pretty.
You went out kind of fast.
Yeah, one of the things that I didn't want to be off the front like I was at Speed Goat or El Vaquero. I mean, those are not as big a races, and there's a lot of, I think there's enough room with a dirt road there that you can, the guys that are supposed to be in front of you will get in front of you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're not going to piss everybody off.
But at Wasatch, last year was, I think, even worse than this year as far as people that would go out fast that didn't belong there.
Right.
But so I'm not going to go off the front, but I am going to get out at the front of the pack. I mean, I'm not going to be the top 10, but I'm definitely going to be in the first, 50.
Right.
And what I found is, and part of that was because in 2010, I'm standing at the starting line, and it's raining, and Dana Miller comes up to me and goes, "Come here." He walks me right up to the starting line, and he goes, "I want you to look right there." And I looked past the starting line, and there were 2 puddles, huge puddles, one on the right and one on the left, and there was a little path right down the middle. He goes, "When this starts, I want you to stand right behind me and run right behind me." I was like, okay. And he did that same thing, kind of got not run right in the front, but first, 20, 30, 40 people. And as that as we started, everybody in the front 2 rows avoided the puddle, but everybody else that were on both sides of us got wet feet.
Oh, that's no
because they
fun.
ran right through the puddle.
Right.
Because they didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
So that's something Dana kind of I learned from that and thought, all
Don't
right,
run
at
through
Wasatch,
puddles.
I'm not going to run through the puddle. I'm going to be up front so that I know right off the gun if I'm going to go through a puddle. Now, there wasn't puddles, but so as we started, I ended up kind of right behind Phil Lowry.
Right.
And somebody that I was running with decided they wanted to pass Phil Lowry, and I thought to myself, that guy knows how to run a race. I don't know that I need
He's
to
done
pass
a couple.
him. Well, and he's also the guy that marks the course, and
Right.
that first section is new, and I'd never run it before. So
Right.
might as well go with the guy that designed the course, for crying out loud. So I kind of stayed right on Phil's heels pretty much all the way through the first climb.
Mm-hmm.
We chatted a little bit, and at one point chatted, I think, a little too much. I was asking him about his 200-miler, and instead of paying attention to his GPS, he was listening to me, so we ended up off course by 50 feet. He heckled me, I'm Turd'L, I'm not. Shut up, Turd'L. And, all right, I get it. But yeah, the climb went well. I didn't have any issues last year. It was, I struggled. I was on the struggle bus the whole way up that, and I had no issues. I didn't have anybody that got me in front of me, and I just basically stayed with them until the very last few, like that ugly, dry stretch that you're doing little teeny switchbacks up top. And, I put a good effort into the top, but then just kind of chilled and hung out and ran from there on down. But, yeah, it was fun. That was a good section for sure.
So did you have when you went into the race, did you have a goal time in mind, or did you just have an idea of how you wanted to run the race and see what, time happened?
Yeah, I always put splits together. I think it helps you focus on that next section and quit worried about what's happened and you can't control. And so as much, usually what I did is I wrote the goal splits out to be, 29 hours, with the idea that if I was off a little bit, I'd break 30. But then I also have so that's kind of the green line, and then I have a red line, which basically says, here's your 36-hour pace. And each section I'll have those 2 paces. So I know that from Bountiful B to Sessions, it's going to take me an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going well. If I'm not going well, it's going to take me an hour and whatever it is. I don't even know what that split was. But that was the green was the goal time was an hour split there. So no matter what time I get into Bountiful B, that should take me an hour to get to Sessions. And if it takes me an hour and 6 minutes, well, you just lost 6 minutes off of that 30-hour split you're aiming for. And so that's what I do with each of those. And it helps you split it up from aid station to aid station, and it works real well for me.
So have you ever run a race without doing something like that? Like just kind of, I don't say wing it, but just kind of, I'm just going to go enjoy myself, run how I feel. I'm not going to worry about my time splits, etc.
Yeah, I did that at Speed Goat the first time.
And? It work out?
No, at all.
No, not at all.
Well, that year I didn't even realize there were cutoff times. How about that? And I didn't make the cutoff time because I was screwing around taking pictures. And I was in the kind of shape that I could have finished that race that year, but I wasn't paying attention and just missed cutoff times, and it was stupid. And then of course I went back the next year thinking, oh, I can do this, and yeah, I wasn't in shape to do it, and got my ass handed to me. And so, but yeah, I know that's something that works for me. I do it at Squaw Peak every year, and I end up turning out, end up doing pretty well. When I aim for that goal time, sometimes I hit it, and sometimes I don't.
And the only reason I asked that is I was up at the Bear this past weekend, and there were some people that I know and a lot of people that I talked to. There were some that said, yeah, I just came out and ran. Like, I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really put a goal in front of me, and some were saying that was the best they'd run a race because they didn't feel the pressure of the times and the splits. But on the other flip side, there was a guy that I was talking to and helping out when he came through Tony's, and he was like, I need to get out of here within the next 1 minute, 30 seconds if I want to stay sub 30. And this was at mile 50.
Right.
So, there was 2 spectrums, and some worked obviously for some and some works for others. So it was just kind of interesting to see your mindset on that.
I think setting a goal time for yourself is important if you.
They're like little turkeys running down the trail.
There's runners coming down the trail at night. Turd'L had a squirrel moment.
Yeah, he did.
Whoa. So I think it's important if you're going for course records or if you're going for sub 24 or sub 30 to have those goal splits. It helps you stay focused on what you're there to do. For me, I have to have that 36-hour split because I'm a back of the packer, and if I don't know what that is, I don't know if I'm close to the cutoff, and I think I get sometimes lost in my own head, and you go through a bad patch, and I need to be able to look at that split and go, no, dude, you're still all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
A good example of that is at Wasatch this year. I left Brighton and went to the next aid station and was not doing very well, and as I left there, I knew I wasn't doing well, but I also knew that I needed to get out of an aid station just because I wasn't going to. They didn't have anything there to make me feel any better, so I just figured, if you're not going to feel very good, feel that on the trail.
That's right.
They had no Tecate lights there, huh?
No, they didn't. They had no. Aunt is that what it is?
Aunt Knowles?
Aunt Knowles does not have Tecate lights. They didn't even have bacon.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. You need your money back.
I'm heartbroken over the non-bacon because in 2010 it was full of. That's all I got there was bacon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went up the grunt, and that was a little longer than I remember it being. And then as I'm going down towards Pole Line Pass, I'm wandering and I'm stumbling, and I had to sleep in a sticker bush for 45 minutes.
Well, if you're going to sleep in a sticker bush.
Right.
That's
what
I
kept you
say.
honest.
That's
Just
what I
basically
say.
said to my pacer, Cameron, I'm sorry, but I've got to lay down right here, and did. And
You weren't going to
I
take.
probably would have got some good
No.
sleep if everybody that wandered by didn't say, hey, are you all right? And shine their light in my eyes. Hey, are you all right? Yes, I'm all right. That's why I'm sleeping here.
Yeah. That's why I'm
why I'm
laying in the briar
sticker
patch.
bush.
Yeah, and you get up and you got stickers poking you. And anyway, I went into pole line and still wasn't feeling very good, but I also knew it was about 45 minutes till sunrise, so I sat in a chair and got a blanket and went to sleep. And I knew I was 4 hours up on the cutoff time of what time I needed to leave there by. So I knew even if I spent 3 hours there, I was still okay because I was feeling okay. I just was really exhausted, and I know as soon as the sun comes up, I get a second wind. So.
Yeah,
Right.
that reinvigoration.
So having those splits at that point is valuable because you can look at them and go, dude, I got plenty of time to put everything back together and get on the trail, and I did, and ran a pretty good split from there on in.
Well, because your time was 33:20.
Yep.
And so
33:21.
I say 33:20:51.
No, because Jim was 33:21 as well.
Huh. That's what I just pulled from the website last night. So we're gonna have to talk to those guys.
They've adjusted them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what adjusted it for weight. Is that
Yeah,
what that was?
exactly.
Wind. I think it was wind.
Wind.
There's some
Oh, yeah,
that
right.
puddle.
Age.
Might have been that puddle
The
up front. Puddle time. I mean, but overall, I mean, your goal for the race was to finish the race because that was your thing at Wasatch.
Right.
So, but your time, 33:20, is a good time.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour PR at Wasatch for me. So,
So
yeah, it's
that's a good time.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I mean, overall, when you finished, happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I look at that 33:20 and think, okay, so I spent
Was it 33:20 or 33:21?
whatever. I look at that 33:20 on your sheet, and I think to myself, okay, so I spent 2 hours sleeping in an aid station, or in a pile of bush, a sticker bush,
Briar patch.
instead of if I'd have pulled out my magic bullet and put on some music and kept moving and was able to keep walking for those 2 hours instead.
Yeah.
There's my 30 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
But when I laid down, I didn't think to myself, "Oh, I'm close to 30 hours." I thought I've already missed that boat because I knew where
Right.
that split was. But I also knew I was way ahead of that cutoff split, so I wasn't that worried about it.
Have you gone back to look at amount spent in aid stations for the race?
Time spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a spreadsheet with it.
Do you know what it is?
I don't know off the top of my head. I could pull it up.
No, we're good.
Yeah,
we're
we're
good.
good.
We don't have time.
We don't
for
have that much time.
I got a spreadsheet.
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I
That's
got
good.
I could
Well-
probably tell you everyone's aid station split time. How about that?
I'm just worried about you right now.
All right.
That's it. But no, I'm just curious because you said if I wouldn't have slept in the briar patch for whatever 2 hours or whatever, because you notice the aid station time is what's interesting.
Yeah.
Because we had Trevor Fuchs on here, the guy that won the race,
Sure.
and his aid station time, he wouldn't stop or
Right.
2 minutes, 3 minutes,
Yep.
and because he knew that's where his, wasted time was a year before when he won it the year before that. So because that could be, you're talking sub 30 without the briar patch or even more with aid station time.
Well, and I feel like believe me, those guys that run that fast, I have no idea how they can get in and out of an aid station that quickly. I have to, there are certain aid stations I pre-plan to spend 15 minutes at because I know I want to change my shoes. I want to change my socks. I want to, I want to make sure that I'm prepared for the next section of trail and what it's going to throw at me. And I've had some really bad blister issues in the past, even with changing shoes. And so I've got, the Scots that I'm running in are treating my feet well. I'm not getting blisters. I had, like one little teeny tiny blister on my foot when I was done. It's the least blisters I've ever had in 100K, let alone a 100-miler. And so, but I think part of that is because I did take the time to wash my feet at Lambs and wash my feet at Big Mountain and take the time to make sure that the wheels on the bus weren't coming off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I have to take the time to do that.
So you account when you're doing your times, you account for your aid station time. Do you account for like famous time? What I mean by that is people wanting to talk to Turd'L Miller at an aid station.
Take pictures.
Yeah,
right?
It's like, okay, I know I'm going to have like 3 minutes of selfies.
No, but that
2 minutes of
I guess
know.
that's probably something
Like
I ought to
fandom.
put on the spreadsheet.
Probably
because
from
I
here
know
on
at-
out.
fandom time. I
Yeah,
think Joel
fandom
knows
time.
it's your
Well,
fandom.
and it's as much as it is, I mean, you guys are kind of being funny and saying it's fans, but
Kind
I
of.
like hanging
No,
out with
it's
other
the
people at aid
truth.
stations. I mean, that's
People love Turd'L. They
They
want to
do.
talk to
I know,
you.
but I'm just saying one of the things that I like about running these races that I get to see these people.
Yeah.
And when you're running, you don't get to see them. But when you pop into an aid station, there's 5 or 6 of your really good friends
Right.
sitting there that you've had a good time with a bunch of times.
Mhm.
And so,
And all your new friends.
New
Yeah.
friends you just
Yeah.
met.
and you want to,
Or you're encouraging someone in a bad place.
Yeah.
And have a popsicle or
A Tecate
Convince-
Light.
convince somebody they want to drink a pickle juice or something.
That's
you know?
right.
I like aid
It's
stations.
fandom
and that's
time.
the hard
Mhm.
thing is getting out of
So
them
those
sometimes.
groupies.
Well,
you
for
got,
people
you gotta
like-
nurture the groupies.
And people, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but people like you. Your same
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah, right.
Because there's people that don't want to talk to people. There's people that want to fly in and out of there. But if you want to hang out, enjoy, talk to somebody, if someone's struggling, talk to them or whatever. I mean,
But
that
if you're not
takes time.
careful, that can suck you in.
It big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I find that the earlier aid stations are the ones that I spend the most time in.
really,
So Bountiful Bee, Sessions,
really,
Swallows not so much because I didn't know anybody at Swallows, but I still
Right.
spent 5 minutes there getting a popsicle.
Right.
that's interesting. Because I'm thinking myself, I'm probably the reverse of that.
Really?
Early on, I like to fly in and out.
Yeah,
I don't
upper,
like 'cause
upper
it's
Big
like
Water. I
you're
had a cup of
kinda
soup
put
and got in
together.
and out.
Right.
I got to Desolation and
Oh. That's a booby trap.
in and out. Like
Yeah.
seriously, here, hey Pacer, grab me a cup of soup. Let's go.
You're better at
that's it.
Deso if you're struggling to check in, check out, and struggle
Oh,
15
as
yards
you're
down
walking.
the trail.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
That's
Yeah.
a booby
And
trap.
Same with Scots. You don't stop
yeah.
at
Well,
a 10
but
Scots.
Scots, I actually know the guys that put on Scots, and
Okay.
they, and I gave them a couple tents to use at Scots this year. They had Scott tents, which
That's
was
Scots.
kind of cool.
I
so,
like that.
I mean, it's that kind of thing. And so I sat there for a few minutes and had a couple cups of soup and left there and felt pretty good. But if you look at my Brighton time, I didn't even go in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a booby. That's a big.
That's
Well,
an
they
in
call
and
that the
out. Like
morgue.
seriously,
for how many
I
hours.
mean, if you look at my Brighton, I've never spent a minute in Brighton aid station ever,
Right.
because I get crewed in the parking lot and then I get out of there.
There's
because
no
I don't,
room in there
I don't even
anyway.
walk in. I
So they
open
moved
the-
it this
Oh,
year,
that's
didn't
right.
they?
Yeah.
Literally, I open the door and I say my number in and out. I
Right.
don't go in. There's nothing in there that I need.
Right.
Right, everything I need's in the parking lot with my crew. I don't
Mhm.
need to go into that aid station where it's warm. I'll sit in the parking lot, be cold, and get the hell out of there.
Right. No, it's a good idea.
So you're bringing up your crew. Who is your crew for this year?
So, Dana Mud and Guts Miller.
How is that to have that in your corner for
like
the
a-
Wasatch
it's like a
100?
dream. It's okay. So
who was Rocky's corner man?
That was
I gotta
Mickey.
t- I
Mickey.
gotta
That's
tell
like
you,
him,
Mick.
Mickey.
I got to tell you, no, it's not. The value of having Dana Mud and Guts Miller is you get Connie Miller as part of the package.
Okay.
I don't know this top secretness.
So Connie is Dana's crew.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, I see where you're going
Dana's
with
a
this.
great guy.
Yeah.
Extremely motivating, awesome guy. But if you want somebody that can crew you and just own it,
Right.
that's who Connie is. And
Okay.
I straight up told her when she showed up at the aid station, I said, but just so you know, The only reason I asked Dana to be here is because I knew it sooner or later you'd show up.
Right.
You know? And it was just like, thank you for, because she's awesome. She just, she knows how to get you in and out because
Right.
she did it for Dana for years. And
Gotcha.
But so you have the best of both worlds on that, and then you've got Dana, who is the course guru.
Yeah.
Just kind of like
Yep.
doing this, what you need to do other than get you out. I mean, that's pretty nice to have in your corner.
And Dana actually, Dana's had some health problems with his ankle and with his foot and whatnot, and hasn't been running. I mean, obviously, he's a huge guy that I look up to a lot, and he's always been a guy that I've wanted to emulate in everything he does, not just running. I think he's an awesome human being.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, even though he couldn't really run as much as I would have liked to run with him, he ran from the top of the wall in with me,
Nice.
and on that ankle, and it was just it's always fun to spend time on the trail with Dana.
I mean,
I do. I feel like I got the dream team out of it for sure.
Right.
and you had Cameron
Cameron Kershaw's
pacing you.
Cameron Kershaw and I have known each other since college. He's a guy that paces me, and I pace him on all of our stupid stuff that we do. We just he's a guy that we know each other real well, and he knows what I want when we come into an aid station. We don't even have to talk.
Right.
Something happens coming into an aid station, and he just looks at me and goes, hand me your bottles, and he runs ahead, and he fills my bottles, and I walk into the aid station, I grab them, and I walk out. And then he'll come out, take care of what he needs, and walk out and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, you forgot this piece of bacon, and I didn't even know they had bacon, that kind of stuff. He's that kind of guy that just knows, and we have great conversations on the trail. And the other guy that paced me is a guy named Corey Swanson. Never run an ultra in his life. But his dad was best friends with Dana growing up. And so he's been around Dana and has paced Dana and knows what he's doing. And he paced me at the Bear. And, he was pacing me last year when I DNF'd, and he paced me this year to get me to the finish too.
Nice.
So
Nice. So a solid team.
Yeah.
And that's so fun, because I had such a great experience just watching the Bear, going to aid station. I was there for nobody, but I helped people when they needed it. But just watching some of these crews and how they talked and how they schemed and NASCAR'd and everything else was pretty sweet.
Right.
But on your side, you're talking about people that know you so well, talking about people that know the Wasatch 100 so well.
Right.
That just makes the experience even better when you come across the finish line.
Yeah,
They were pretty excited. Dana kept updating people on where you were at.
He did.
When he could throughout the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's really cool to see that. So what is you looked at 2018 yet? Now that you got dropped the third grader, got Wasatch in your pocket,
Yeah, a big part of Wasatch was it's a qualifier for a couple races that I want to get into, and I needed a qualifier for both of those.
Right.
So, yeah, Western States and Hard Rock, I'm back in the lottery for both those two. I'm starting to get enough tickets that I've got I don't want to say a pretty good chance.
That you'll pay attention.
I don't think there's enough wood to knock on in the planet. If you say something stupid like that, you'll never get into either of them.
Yeah.
But no, I'm in those two lotteries, so a lot of what I'm going to do this year depends on those races. I know. For example, I'm going to run Rabbit this year, which is the same weekend as Wasatch.
Okay.
I know that that's an awesome race. I love that.
You've
tortoise
done that
division.
one before,
I've
right?
run it before.
Are you going for the prize money? They got like
That's right.
$2 million.
They've got
Yeah,
that team thing going.
Yeah, I think I'm in some negotiations with a few people about running together.
Nice.
I got to get really fast women to run with because I'm going to be the really slow guy. But
Right.
yeah,
I got to get that email back to you then.
2 women. Yeah, 2 fast women is what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. I'm out.
So I'm going to run Rabbit. Other than that, it depends on the lotteries. If I get into one or both of those, I really don't want to get into both of them.
Yeah.
But
No, that'd be bad, huh?
I would love to be faced with that
Dilemma.
decision about what am I truly going to do, and
'Kay,
have to look at it and say, okay, how many weeks apart are these? Is that
Ooh,
feasible?
there's a
Is
bigger
that
difference
possible?
this year, right?
Yeah,
There's an
Hard
extra
Rock
week.
moved back a week.
Yeah, Hard Rock's moved to the
20th.
third week,
So you have
20th,
3
something.
weeks
Is that what
or
it is?
4 weeks
Oh,
now.
you've got at least 4 weeks.
4 maybe. I don't know what weekend.
You gotta do them
Western
both
States
then.
is.
So what would your be if you could choose? What if you had one? What would it be? Which one you'd rather do?
I don't know.
That's really not a very good answer.
I can't. I don't know.
You seem like a Hard Rock guy lately.
I
Yeah.
love both of those races for different reasons. I think, I've been I've been to both of those races, as a spectator. I've paced at Western States, and I got to tell you, the aid stations at Western States are the most amazing things I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
Not only as a pacer, but also as like just a person that was watching the race. It's their organization of keeping, of crowd control and of all the things that they do to make sure that those aid stations are spot on for everybody there, and nobody gets in the runner's way. And
Right.
Well, no one's allowed in the aid stations.
Right.
They rope it off.
Right. They
Just
rope
runners.
it off, but they still give your crew access to you. They just have to do it through the rope or
Outside the
whatever.
aid station or
Right.
through the rope, yeah.
But I don't know that you need a crew at Western States, because you walk into that aid station and they have
You have like 2 volunteers per runner.
Literally,
pretty much.
you walk in and that person that is up next is your handler. They
Your de
walk
facto
and get
crew.
you whatever
Yeah.
you want, and they will
Right.
stay with you until you leave the aid station, either till you drop or until you leave exit the aid station.
Right.
They are your butler. They're your concierge or whatever. I mean, they're literally your servant the whole time you're there. It's crazy to
Yeah.
watch.
That's awesome.
I've never been to a Hard Rock aid station. I've been to one, but I didn't see that happening there. But the Hard Rock family and just the fact that there's only 140 people and it's
Right.
in the San Juans, it's a beautiful, amazing place. So I can't. It's 2 completely different races. I think. Western States, you're wanting to run fast. You're wanting to see what
it's
you can
faster.
do.
It's hotter.
I think last year we helped him get in the Wasatch.
Yeah.
You know what's
So
going to
that's why I'm asking which one you want to get into.
No, it's not. It's not which. He's going to get into both.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's
take
gonna
that
happen.
up.
It's the Trail Manners
But
voodoo.
It
I've
is.
got some fallback races, even if I don't. I mean, I
Right.
think if I don't get into either of those, I think what I'm going to do is the 3 historical hardest 50 milers in the country.
What are those?
Pony Express,
No.
Buffalo Run. No. Zangray.
The Salt
Zangray.
Flats.
Yep, Zangray.
Zangray. JFK.
No.
Oh.
San Juan Solstice.
Okay, but done that one.
That's hard.
And
I was looking at
Squaw
Zangray
Peak.
today. Okay. So
Yeah.
you've done Squaw.
I've done Squaw.
And
Yeah, and
not
I've
the
done
other
Squaw
2?
Peak 8 times. Squaw Peak's on my calendar until I finish 10, and John gives me a cougar statue.
And then you're going up to Smut.
The Smut's interesting. I mean,
It is.
that 100-mile distance that you're starting at night,
Yeah.
that's
It's going to be really hard.
He's starting at noon.
Is he? Did you
Mhm.
get confirmation on that?
Confirmation.
yeah, but
And we might be doing an aid
again,
station.
I don't know what's the cutoff. What,
Wait a
is
minute.
he-
Did you say?
is
Did
he
you say
doing a
we?
30-hour cutoff or a
36.
36-hour cutoff? So
36.
right, that's what I mean. That second, the second night, just because you're just starting into the night, isn't going to be as hard as if you started at 6 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I thought he was thinking about 3 p.m.
Yeah, he
Which
decided
would give
on,
you in the second night for sure.
Yeah.
Dude,
That'd be
or
rough.
6 p.m. I mean, you start at 6 p.m.
Oh.
It's dude, 36 hours. You're
I don't know
last
how you
finish
could
is coming in
start
at 6
anything
a.m.
at 6 p.m.
I mean,
I'd be
you got all
tired
that
before
food
I
in your
started.
stomach from the day.
How
I
do
mean,
you do it?
ugh.
Just to kill people. I think
Yeah.
I think that's something I wouldn't put it past that guy.
I would go up to the
How about
start line
So
and
you
say,
got
I'm going to go
24,
an hour before I take a nap.
24 plus so 6 p.m. on Saturday night.
It's 24 hours. So you like 50,
6 p.m. on Saturday night would give you
that? 30.
30 hours, right?
if you start at 6?
No, if you start at noon.
Oh,
You start
gotcha.
at noon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Midnight's your 36-hour cutoff.
Right.
Right.
Oh, man. I don't want to finish that late. I
Yeah.
wanna finish earlier.
Me either.
Yeah.
That's why you got to run faster.
I know, right?
Like the time isn't anything. It's how fast you run.
And that's
Run
not an
fast,
easy
take
course.
chances, right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's our motto.
Well, I
It's
mean,
one of our mottos.
It's in a good time where you get lots of daylight, right? I mean, you got
You do.
more,
You got lots of daylight for
you have
sure.
more daylight that time of year.
Yep.
But yeah, Smut's an interesting race for sure.
Yeah, and it'll be run well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy puts on a good race.
Yeah.
He does. He puts on a good
I've
race.
never heard of him before.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's a good runner.
He's a good doctor too.
He's a good doctor.
Yeah.
He has a cool beard.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Smells good.
Well, I haven't gotten that close to the beard yet.
I didn't say the beard does.
Cuddles
Oh.
well or what?
Cuddles well.
I didn't do that, but I could have. He was
Did
sleeping.
you did you oil the beard?
No, I didn't.
Up at the bear?
No, I didn't. It
Did
needed
you have
it.
the oil station set up?
Yeah, but that got really out of hand.
Yeah,
Wow.
did just going like this with the beard?
I'm glad we're on
Twirl- you
microphones.
twirling?
right now. I was
Are
doing
you
the twirly.
twirling?
Yeah, I was doing the twirly thing. Little
Doing-
tornado
doing
beard.
this. Zingy, zingy, zingy. Tornado beard around the finger.
So yeah, those 3 races, and the other one I've got is Rufa.
Okay, that's February.
That's February. It doesn't count. Come on now.
What, February 10th?
February, 10th or 11th.
Because then in May, I know you're talking about training for Gib Wallace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gib Wallace.
Gib Wallace, because we're going to make that maybe a little longer. The Forest Service lets us.
Let's not move on before we get to dig into Gib Wallace, because I do want to talk about that. Let's finish talking about Rufa.
Okay.
So, last year, right, I wore a helmet.
You wore a helmet.
That's right, you did. That was awesome.
Safety first,
That's right. That was the best thing that happened all winter,
I've
by
learned
the way.
a few things from that, and I think I'll probably wear the helmet again.
You should.
But spikes,
how are you going to one-up that?
Spikes. The way I'm going to... Oh, a Speedo,
put spikes on his helmet.
Please do.
Spikes in the Speedo?
Yes.
For the first lap? No. No, so this year, one of the things I really want to do is I want to do 8 laps.
Okay.
Which I spent a little time
on. How many did you
on...
do last year?
2.
So you're going to start on Wednesday.
That's a big jump.
But before that, I'd only done 1 lap of...
That's a 4-fold increase.
Right.
Yeah.
There are only 3 people that have done more than 8 laps.
Name them.
Jared Campbell.
Okay.
Ms. Eaton.
Okay.
Eric Storheim.
So I could see you in that the 4 horsemen.
Well, no, because there's 3 other people that have run 8, and I only know one of them, Danny. But so there's I don't. Yeah, I mean, to me, 8 is.
Do we need to challenge him?
So you want 8 so you can put your face on the Grandeur Peak statue, right?
I just want to say,
like Mount Rushmore.
I think that's a doable. I don't know that 9's doable. I think
absolutely
8's
it's doable because he doesn't get snow in the wintertime like we do. He can train his ass off.
Yeah, but I still got to be ready to run up a damn hill.
Well, yeah, you got plenty of hills in St. George to run
not
up.
covered with snow.
You don't need that.
Well, you got sand.
Just
you can
wear
go
road
mess around
shoes.
in. Just wear road shoes.
So it's a 24-hour. So you're thinking 24-hour, 8 laps.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to back up. Let's do some math real quick. How many miles is in each lap?
6.
6 miles. So 3 up, 3 down, essentially.
Yeah, 3 up, 3 down.
You want to do 8. 8 times 6 is that's a lot, dude.
48.
48, right. And that's 20,000 feet of elevation gain? Is that what it is?
I don't know what the elevation gain is on it.
You want to do 8 times 4 because it's about 4,000 feet, right?
Is it 4? I thought it was like 2,500 or 3.
Is it? I thought it was closer to the.
Nobody should be looking at me for this answer right
we
now.
We need validation. We're in like fuzzy
what?
Math territory right now. Okay, let's
It's a
compromise.
lot.
Let's
It's a
say
lot.
3,000.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Let's just say 3
It's a
because
lot.
you're going in snow.
There we
Jared
go.
does more than that every year. He does it, but no one else really does. I mean, it's
That's
pretty
Jared.
much
Jared's the
it.
freak of nature.
He does more of that before I eat my blueberry in the morning.
Your blueberry. All right. So how are we gonna get you there?
How are we going to get you to 8? Because that's your goal. You want to be on the
because last year
4
we were
horsemen.
like, Turd'L, you're not going to lose that much weight, and you lost that much weight.
Yeah.
So should we say that right
Should
now?
we challenge us? We have the Turd'L tracker for hill
You're
repeats.
not going to do it? Is that
Pretty
all you
much. I
say?
don't think you're going to do it.
So you'll start like sending us
much right
pictures
there.
of
No
your.
way. There's pretty much no way.
There's
I
no
don't
way.
see it happening. No.
He's going to start sending us
Well,
pictures of his calves.
And part
Look, guys, I'm
I've got
training
nice
for uphill. Look at
calves,
my
by the way.
calves.
I do have nice calves. I have,
He does shave them.
Look at my gastrocnemiuses.
right, I do.
Yeah, see, he looks at me like that's normal. I do, right?
He's looking at Joel like Joel should know too. That's
Yeah.
the best part.
Like I help you with that?
Does Nair work? Is better? Is Nair better than a razor?
He's looking at Joel again for the
I
people
don't
not
know.
here.
I go get mine lasered off.
So all right. So Rufus early schedule.
All right.
February.
And I know you think I'm not going to do it, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're not going to do it. So
So
what's after that?
Gib Wallace. Yeah, probably
Yep.
Gib Wallace.
May. So you got from.
May.
Yeah.
You got to train for that one because that's not.
You better
in-
train hard because we're going to get some good money this year.
Yeah.
Well, and I might.
I'm gonna get some Groupons away.
Okay. I'll be there. Yeah. I will blast off the front again. Straight up.
You know
I
where to
want-
go this year.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know where to
I
go.
don't need to wait for anybody else at this point. I can run hard, and
Yeah.
I'm Trevor. I'm going for the W.
Ooh.
Just straight
Well,
up.
I think
Trevor.
what we're going to try to do this year is that last year when you got to that top part, you did that little lollipop.
Uh-huh.
I think what we're going to try this year is drop you down into Buse Canyon,
Okay.
which is steep and it's pretty technical rock-wise.
You better
Perfect.
wear your ankle brace.
That's
And
where
yeah.
I'm going to pass Trevor.
Yeah, and then you got to come back up that. Yeah, exactly.
But
so,
bring
your A
out
game.
and back rather than a lollipop.
yeah, out and back.
Out and back makes it difficult for anyone not in. It makes it difficult for everybody.
Well, we're also going to have like a 5K distance,
Is there
too.
is there a loop that you
Yeah,
can
at
throw
the
in there?
top, there's going to be, you'll go a different way back.
Okay.
And there'll be a kids K.
Yeah, there'll be a kids K, so you can
I can run
rock
that?
that too again.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can do both.
Will
Yeah.
it be a Twinkie 2 mile?
That's
It's up to you.
That's up to you and the other guy that ran it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's up to you and the guy that beat you.
Those were awesome, by the way. Those were so. I wish I had a box of Twinkies right now. I'd eat them. I'd eat 8 of them right now. You guys need to have another Twinkie contest and invite me because I will crush
We've
whoever.
never had a Twinkie.
We need to have another don't
Yeah,
eat
because I got
contest.
robbed
I
last
will
time.
crush whoever
Yeah.
shows up.
I'm in. When you come up for Rufo, we'll do it Friday
You know
night
what?
before Rufo.
I think you guys ought to come to St. George
Coming.
We are.
the weekend after the Capstone as well as the Capstone.
I can't do that. What do you think? I make money?
Do you think we make money off this
Corey
podcast?
Reese puts on a race down there. That
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. The baker's half
right,
dozen.
the baker's half. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
don't you run on the road though?
Yeah.
Can I just
Yeah,
go?
but-
Can I just eat?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. There's an eating category.
There is an eating
Can
category.
I just eat and not run at all?
I don't know if he has a well, you could probably get in the wheelchair category.
They should just have like a what do you call those things? A relay. I'll just be the eater and I'll get someone to run for me.
You're like the guy when you're doing the tug of war. You're like the guy in the back.
The anchor.
Yeah, the anchor,
Yeah,
right?
man.
the anchor.
Right.
Yeah.
I bring it.
Yeah, that's a fun race. It is. You get you don't go home hungry. If you do, you're dumb.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
so
go home
okay.
hungry
So
a lot.
Gib Wallace.
Okay, Gib Wallace.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
then at that point-
mid-May, late May. What is that?
1st of May.
First Saturday in May.
Okay, yeah.
Probably.
And I might throw another one or two in there. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm planning on Rufa leaving me unable to walk for 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
It's really kind of because literally two laps and I could still like a week and a half later push on my leg and go, oh yeah, that's still sore.
Well, that
right
gets
there.
you to March. Then you got nothing going on like officially until the first week of
Well, it depends
of
on
May.
his races. Yeah.
right. So you
Yeah.
got March and
'Cause
April there.
Zingray's in April.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yep.
But
That's
you can do
open.
Zangray anyways, right?
I don't know. Zangray, I don't know.
How far is Zingray from where you live? 4 hours?
I don't know, 6 hours.
Oh, jeez. Because it's
'Cause
10
you
and a
gotta go
half
through
from me.
You got to go past Flagstaff.
Okay.
You know, it's not. It's.
I was going to carpool with you, but that's a long ways for
You have to
you.
drive to my house first.
Yeah.
You could stay on the couch.
Well, it's still got 6 more. It's like from my house, it's like 10 to 10 and a half hours. I Googled it today.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if it's
Zang-
6 from yours, and it's what? From here to.
four-ish.
Oh, it's about the same, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we brought up Capstone.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about Capstone.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you are the race director for the Capstone, or I like to call it the C Stone, the Stone,
All right.
or the C Spot. I call them all those names when people talk to me about
I like
it.
the
Like,
Stone.
what do you run? I'm
Well,
December. I'll probably go do the Stone
I don't really call myself the race director. I call myself the party coordinator.
party
Mm,
coordinator.
Yeah.
I like
Well, you're
that.
involved with the race.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's
I am-
December
I
2nd.
have some involvement in the race.
And I've got questions. I reserved my hotel today, as a
Okay.
matter of fact, the Red Lion. They got a swimming pool, free
Okay.
breakfast, and
Yeah.
free parking. And I checked
There's
all
free
those
parking
boxes.
at the race too. Yep.
Is there?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
It's December
Check that
2nd.
off the list.
You've got a 50K,
Yep.
a half marathon,
Uh-huh.
a 10K,
Yes.
and a 5K.
Yes.
So this is pretty much for everyone.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm in the 50K. Can I drop down race day, or do I have to do that before if I
No,
choose
you-
to?
Absolutely. You know if you run a couple laps and decide, you know what, I don't really feel like going out. I can't guarantee a finisher award in the half marathon because we create those finisher awards based on the number of registrants we have before the race.
Well, what? So if I'm top 3 though, I'll get one.
If there's only 3 people in the
Yeah,
Right?
I'm gonna look
Okay.
and see where my best chance to podium is.
Oh, I see what you're
You see
doing.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So if Hayden shows up, I know I'll finish at least second.
I don't know. I haven't even thought that through. I don't know.
That's what
You
we're
think
here
someone's
for.
going to do that to me? Is that what you're
I
telling me?
don't know anybody but me that would do
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
and I've already got my spreadsheet ready. I went based off last year's times and the course.
I,
There you go.
Factored in weather.
So last year I did. You can drop down. You can honestly stop anytime you want to, but I didn't allow drop downs.
Okay,
Gotcha.
So
but before the race, I decide like I take a look across the start line and say, I'm gonna drop down. I feel better with this next group.
but we all line up together.
Okay,
You don't necessarily know what race everyone else is running.
so the bib numbers don't matter.
They do, but I'm not going to tell you.
Well, I'll figure it
Oh.
out. I'm pretty cerebral.
Pretty
You're
cerebral.
going to bring your spreadsheet down there.
I have one in my flip phone.
You guys are not drinking all my beers. I'm going to have to.
So tell people what they can expect from the Capstone, though, because I'm excited. I did, last year was the first year they did the Stone, and I didn't go down, but I'm excited to this year. But I want to know what are we in store for? I mean, what can we look forward to at the Stone?
Well, and one of the things that I really like about the Capstone is it's deceptively difficult.
Okay.
There is 1,000 feet of elevation gain in the 10K.
Okay.
it's a completely dirt trail. There is a little bit of double track, but mostly single track. I would say 80% single track.
Okay.
You've got some awesome views.
You need to talk into the microphone.
You've got some
There you
awesome views. I'm just testing you, making sure you were paying attention.
It's only your first time on the show.
Yeah.
What am I? This is number 5. Oh, number 4. I'm not number 5 yet. I'm cuatro.
I don't even know what you're saying right now. I thought you just called yourself an Audi. Audi Quattro or something.
Wow.
Oh, and
It took
I
me a
thought you
minute,
meant
but
like Audi, like belly button Audi.
Jill's going body parts. I'm going vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can expect a lot of fun. One of the things that I do is we run the loops in alternating directions. That
Okay.
to me brings a lot of a sense of community to the race itself, because every time you're past somebody going in the opposite direction, you're exchanging a high five or a attaboy or a way to go, or you're doing good, or you're looking great, or you look like crap.
Yeah.
You're okay. Let's sit down and figure it out. I mean, it's that sense of community that I think comes off of any ultra distance race, and you get it after the first lap in this one.
Right.
You've got again expansive views, amazing views of the strip. You can see clear to the Grand Canyon on a clear day. You can see Zion National Park. It's just off the top of that mesa up there. You can just see for miles on the top of the course.
Where's the course at?
It's kind of southwest St. George. It's
Okay.
kind of overlooks a little community part of St. George called Bloomington.
Is that the Hood? Is it referred to as the Hood?
No, it's a really nice part of town, actually. It's
The
very
Southwest.
I'm trying to figure out where Southwest St. George.
southwest, yeah, southwest, south by southwest,
Okay.
southwest of the southwest part of the.
So it's near St. George.
South of that red rock race.
Yes,
It's
south of
The red-
Steve's Red Mountain.
Red Mountain Race.
50K.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's the same formation.
Okay. Right.
There are some, I guess cuts through that formation between there. But yes, same formation.
Okay.
On that
So
same
similar
side.
trails to that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's surprisingly technical trails.
Yeah.
Turd'L doesn't think so, but they are.
Well, but I run them every day.
You run 'em
so
every
I-
day,
I don't-
exactly.
I don't look at it, but there's wildlife out there. There's
Right.
animals.
So,
there's
for people like I'm not familiar with St. George, what's wildlife? Turtles, rabbits,
coyotes,
cactus,
turtles,
chupacabra.
rattlesnakes.
Aren't they?
There's gonna be
wait a
rattlesnakes
minute.
in
Come on,
December?
time out.
Well, unless
Okay,
I can do something about that.
tell me
I've
this.
asked them to leave.
What's the weather typically like in December in Southwest St. George?
Well, there's rarely snow. I don't want to say never, because again, there's not enough wood in this planet for me to knock on and have that not happen. But it's going to be, you're going to be 40s, 50s.
so there's rattlesnakes at 40 and 50 degrees
Well,
down there.
That's what I mean. There's
What the hell?
rattlesnakes on the course, but you're not going to see them.
Oh, so
not-
they're just
you're
underground.
probably not going to see the turtles because they
Oh yeah,
don't
no
move.
turtles for sure.
So
at
we're
that
gonna
point.
see coyotes, cactus,
right.
jackrabbit.
Yeah.
Um,
Rabbits will scare you. They'll jump out of the bushes and scare you because you'll think it's a rattlesnake. Yep, it'll happen.
Okay.
And we did say chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the chupacabra is.
That's okay.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah.
What else? What other?
Tell me. No, wait. What's a chupacabra?
I can't tell you. It's
No.
it's voodoo.
Is that a Spanish word meaning?
It
voodoo?
means it's Spanish for chupacabra. Translates the same. French, I think it's called chupacabra. So
Chupacabra.
Nice.
there's a V in there when you say it in French.
So there's it's a cool side of town for sure.
Okay. And the weathers, you think like average 40s, 50s, something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's weather that you could camp in a tent and
Okay.
not freeze to death for sure.
Right.
You know
But
what I mean? You're not
You're staying at the red line.
I'm at the Red Lion.
Right.
race day will probably be a high of 50 to 60 degrees.
Oh, and it starts at noon.
It starts at noon.
All of
Oh
them.
shoot!
Right?
Yeah, well,
Really?
we usually run the
What
5K
the
starts
hey?
a little earlier than that.
It's like
The reason I do that is I've kind of I want this to be a beginner race.
Okay.
I want this to be something that's comfortable for anyone that's never run a trail race before, someone that's never run an ultra distance before. And I want to, first of all, I like to sleep in. Those
Yeah, we know that.
That 6 a.m. start at Wasatch is bullshit.
6 a.m. I thought they started at 5.
I think I started at 6.
Okay.
But I could.
You should go run the Beaverhead.
But yeah,
Yes. Get on the
you
shuttle
get
at
up at
2:30.
3 and catch a bus. And
Yeah.
dude, it's sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to start that early.
So if you
it's
start
all
at
about me because I'm
That's
the
fine.
party guy,
We get it.
party coordinator. Is that
Yeah,
what
the
you're
party
looking at me
planner.
like I made it up.
well, you made up the title for me on my business card.
Which one's that?
Head knucklehead.
Oh, that's different.
So I started at noon for a couple reasons. I want those people that are kind of mid to back of the packers to build confidence in their needing to run later in a race.
Because you're talking, it's a 50K. I don't know the difficulty, but I could see
That's
8
like
hours,
7 or 8 hours.
Yep.
right? So
getting
you're
done.
at 8 p.m. Is it dark? It's some wintertime, so I imagine it's going to be dark.
Oh, it's way dark.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, lots of snakes.
So
then.
I run the 10K course, and so you got to run it 5 times.
Okay.
I run it in about an hour and a half. Just not
Once.
in a hurry.
Like leisure.
Once.
Right.
Okay.
So that 50K course, yes, you are finishing in the dark.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Good thing
So-
to know. Is that on the website?
bring a headlamp. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We're going to double check that.
I'll have to call my web guy later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to check that when I go home, by the way.
Figure that out.
Yeah.
That is part of it. And if you show up and you don't know that it's going to get dark and it starts to get dark, I probably might have a headlamp you can borrow.
If
that
they
guy.
work or not is debatable.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, they will. They
Okay.
will. I'm money with headlamps.
All
But
right,
yeah,
all right.
it is, and I want that because I want you to build confidence so that if you do, not if, when you decide to move from that 50K to that 50 mile to that 100K to that 100 mile, that
Mhm.
whether it's a progression or whether you pull an amber green and jump from the marathon to a 100-miler, you have the confidence that you can run at night with a headlamp.
Right. Or you can run later in the day when your belly's kind of full of food, right? And you're
Right.
tired.
Right.
And
Okay.
you think you're hungry.
So that's the reason for the noon start. Mostly because I like to sleep in, but I also
Yeah.
want to punish people that are slow
Gotcha.
and make them run with a headlamp.
Can we have an early start?
No,
No. Damn.
no, you can't. You can't.
Like 8 a.m.? We'll self-time ourselves?
No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't. Sorry.
We can't call
Um,
somebody about that?
I'd have to talk to the race director, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say no.
What about the race director's wife?
I heard that she's
Can we talk to the real boss?
Yeah, she'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
Gotcha.
I'm in.
Just shut up.
Just shut up and pay.
That's right.
Just shut up and sign up. All right, just sign up. But the other thing that I wanted to do is I really kind of wanted this to be, kind of a gathering at the end of the year. That's why, that's part of the reason I moved it from November to December. Last year I avoided that first weekend in December because it was the same weekend as the North Face 50, and I thought, I want this to be something that
You want to make sure Walmsley shows. And
Right.
I want to
Hayden and-
give some fast guys a chance to come and set a course record that
Right.
that can't be broken. And Hayden showed up and did it. So, I don't know that there's anybody out there that can break a Hayden Hawks course record. Personally, I think it's a pretty solid record. So
Same course as last year.
same course.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I kind of want to be able to get up in the morning and have a pancake breakfast at the start and
For everybody?
for everybody.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna hurt even worse.
But again,
So
you have
we
you have
come back through that
breakfast between
same-
8 to 10, and then
That same aid station, right? Okay,
Yep.
over and over again.
yeah. So it'll smell like bacon when you start,
Right.
right? And then, it gives you a couple hours for that food to settle in your belly or whatever you want to do, and
Right.
And I think the other thing is it's in a place where you can camp if you want to camp.
Right.
There's plenty of room to pull a trailer back there, plenty of room to pull a 40-foot motorhome. Volkswagen bus will fit easily. There'll be at least one there. I'll drag mine down there, whether it starts or not. It'll go.
Right.
And I also, I wanted to. One of the things that I'm happy about is the fact that it's now on lottery weekend, which
Mhm.
means, that's a big weekend in our sport, because there's the 2 lotteries for the races that are always lotteries.
Right.
Wasatch is a lottery, but it hasn't always been. Squaw Peak was a lottery isn't always. But those two big races, Western States and Hard Rock they're always lotteries, and they're always going to be lotteries.
Always going to be a lottery.
And at this point they're holding them on the same day, and I think that's awesome because it makes it. I mean,
your year's cleared up after that weekend.
And you're all glued. Everyone's glued to their Twitter. Everyone's glued to their phone, and so
Ultra Sign Up blows up immediately after that.
Right, and one of the things I want to have, and that I'm working to get at the start finish line is a live feed that shows because Western States shows their lottery feed like live on a video, like a video of a live feed, and so, I'd like to see Hard Rock go in that same direction and show live. I think it shows transparency of that lottery and eliminates some of questionables and arguments and discussions and all that kind of stuff. It gives it a transparent feel if you've got a video just running there. Whether you know what I mean?
They can Facebook Live it.
Right, it's so easy to do. You know what I mean?
They can do that, no problem.
So is there cell reception out there
as
is. Well?
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's literally 100 yards from a house. It's not far.
So you can get on their Wi-Fi, no problem.
Yeah. You can give their password, or how does that?
I don't know how. That I haven't figured out how exactly we're going to get the streaming out there. I've got a tech guy that's going to handle that for me.
All right, good.
But yeah, I'd like to have a big screen TV out there that we can all kind of watch the lottery and if there's somebody out there that gets in that's running or even just out there volunteering. There's
and when you get into both races, we can come in and console you.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'll probably jump through the roof if I get through one of those lotteries. It'll be one of the best.
You're gonna get through both.
Sure. So
it's the voodoo.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to have.
It will be
to have that lottery and that excitement to again, the people that are just entering our sport that have never run trails before, that have never run. This is their first ultra marathon, and to see the excitement that comes on that day. I think that's something I'd like to share with those people that are new to our sport.
And it's a good place for people that have never done a trail race before, because those trails down there, you hear me say they're technical, and they are, but you can navigate them, right, as long as you go slow, and it's going to provide you with good training to bump up, like Turd'L says, to that next level.
Right. Nice. There's 1,000 feet of elevation gain in the course. So there's guys that can run the whole course, but for the most part,
1,000 feet over 6 miles that's going to keep you honest.
Over 3, right? Because
over
it's
3
up and 3 down, right? It's a loop, so you get 3 miles. That's what I'm saying. You get 1,000 feet of elevation gain to the top, and then 1,000 feet of loss down. So, right. So you get 1,000 feet and 333 feet in a mile. Or whatever. I mean, that's some pretty good climbing, and so you're going to have. There is going to be some hiking. It's not going to be a full run the whole time, and there'll be sections that you have to do some hiking, and so
that's okay. We're
awesome.
comfortable with that.
Yeah. That's usually.
But I mean, that's part of it too. You want those new people to our sport to realize that is a part of it, and that's how you go longer. Is you mix in some hiking with that running, and allow your legs to recover for parts where you're not going to go that much faster anyway if you're trying to run uphill.
Right.
So.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to it, and I think what you said too is it's kind of like that end of year party type thing, low key. Not.
It could be really low key if you're getting for the one of the podiums.
I got 3 different shirts depending on what race I run, so I'm bringing them all. And it just depends on the distance I run. Depends on what shirt I wear.
Like the 2-inch shorts and the singlet for the 5K.
I got at the crop top singlet.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's 5K.
What's going to be cool?
Are you going to cut holes in it too?
No,
yeah,
it's just. I'm not going to
do.
It's crop top it.
It's crop topping, but I'm going to do.
He's going to feather the bottom, right? Tie the knots. Right.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna shave.
You were way fast or hot.
I can't forget that.
Right?
How about that?
when that was around the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s. Yeah.
You were around too. Shut up.
No, I mean that was then because I still have mine.
Gotcha.
But I'm also gonna shave the Trail Manners logo on my belly.
Oh.
So just the fur right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
can I help?
It's just representing.
Oh my God.
Well, if I do the 50K, it's gonna be in my back. I'm just gonna shave my back with the logo because it's sweater season. It gets up here. We got to grow our hair long on our backs up here in the winter time.
It's not a party till Manners shaves the logo in his back. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, you see boxing matches. They put the names of the hotel or whatever on their back. I just gonna
They
shave
do?
it. Yeah, I'm just gonna shave it.
Yeah, you
It's all sponsorship. It's
No.
all sponsorship.
in their hair.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of
not gonna
boxing.
do the hair on my head because that's the money maker. I'm gonna do it on my back, right? So that's
You
totally
cut
different.
Down by the tram stamp.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where the hair kind of gets a little longer, kind of greasy.
Braided.
You know,
It's my lower back dreads.
so yeah, it's gonna be a party. Is that what you're telling me? We're gonna have a party?
I think so.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who comes down. It's gonna be a good time.
But that's the thing is people should come down, especially, and I know this is everywhere, but I'm thinking like northern Utah, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's colder.
Yeah.
There's more snow.
It's time to get the hell out of the
You
boat.
can't
Get
get on
out
the
for
trails.
the weekend.
Right.
Just get out for the weekend. Red Lion, man, they've got a hot tub. You can take dogs. I'm taking a pet down.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So
Well,
get out of town.
And honestly, that's the other advantage of starting at noon is that you're going to have finishers out there that are there at 8 or 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah,
and you
for
can
sure.
be out, and it's not so cold that you need a beanie sitting in a Volkswagen bus.
but you could. I mean, if you had like
Yeah.
a pom-pom beanie or something.
could.
you
Like the
could
Yeah,
wear
new
it.
Trail
Trail
Manners
Manners pom-pom beanie.
Oh, what's the new one look like? I haven't even seen it.
No one has.
No one has.
Oh,
Joe's
see?
putting it on the website soon, and it's
That's right.
pre-order, 50 only.
Do you have a picture? Oh, so it's pre-order only.
Yeah,
We got pictures. We'll show you off, Mike.
yeah,
Alright.
yeah. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think pretty psyched just to get out of town, knowing where we're going, kind of fun, different at the same time. And then man, Turd'L Miller puts it on, right?
That's right.
So it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Got to be.
Well,
And there's going to be bacon.
I've
Yeah.
done enough. I've done enough that I like to think I don't screw stuff up too badly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the advantages of having that loop course is that there's the aid station, and yeah, there's water tables out there, but most people don't drink at them because it's
I think I've always wanted to run a race like this though, where you come back like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as planning and everything,
your
with
drop
50K,
bag's there if you
simple.
need a drop bag. I don't know why you need a drop bag in a 50K, but your car's there. I mean, you
Right.
can literally
Walk out to the car.
walk out of the car and get oh crap, I got a hole in my sock or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You can easily change.
Go to your car, do some vaping,
Right. Yeah.
take the second lap.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Shoot up some EPO real quick.
Yeah, right. It's like I gotta come on strong here. Wind's picking up.
But there are some fast people. So you
Yeah.
joke about EPO, but you might need to if you think you're going to take.
Oh,
any
we're
of
not
those
joking.
spots.
We're not joking.
I
Dude,
don't
at
know.
our age, we need every advantage we can get.
Seriously, every single one of those races was a competitive fast
Oh, yeah.
guy, right?
Well, you know
I mean,
those commercials that
Guys
keep
and
talking
gals.
about free
Yeah.
samples. I order all of them. All those commercials with free samples. I order them all because you never know what's going to work.
That's a broad spectrum of ordering.
And some of the side effects
what
are
is it?
true.
Third Love, isn't that the one you can try for free for 90 days or something?
I
Third
don't,
love.
I don't have cable, so I don't know what that.
Google that Third Love, by the way.
I don't have cable.
Is that a
It's the-
Southern
it's the
Utah like
best-
FLDS
it's the
type of thing?
Best fitting bra you'll ever buy.
Okay.
Do they have one for the boys?
Third Love. It's not what you think it is.
Okay.
It already isn't. So yeah, the Capstone, the Stone, as we like to call it, the Stone.
All right.
December 2nd.
Turd'L Miller Stone versus Keith Stone.
So the Stone, December December 2nd. It's on Ultra Sign Up.
It
Tastes
is.
like bottled beer tastes in a can. That's what Keith Stone is.
Oh,
Okay.
You don't remember Keith Stone?
gotcha. I remember that now. Yeah.
No.
Drop the mic, Turtle. Just drop it.
Just walk away.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun weekend though. I'm looking forward to it. Supporting Turd'L down there in southern Utah. It's on Ultra Sign Up. What's it, December 2nd? Noon start. Anybody can run.
Mm-hmm. 5K, 10K, half marathon.
The whole family can come down. Someone can run a
50K.
distance, right?
Yep.
Pretty
right.
much.
Yep.
So that's really cool that you're doing that. Second year.
And there's lots to do down in St. George if you're not running.
Oh yeah, there is.
The family can go out, go to Snow Canyon State Park. That place is rad.
Black Bear Diner.
Yep.
Black Bear Diner.
Black Bear
I
Diner's
wasn't
pretty
going
cool.
that far, but yeah.
Yeah, we've got some cool parks down there. Snow Canyon's pretty cool.
It's close
Zion's
by.
Not far,
Yeah.
right?
Lots of fun stuff to do.
Yeah, it's a great place. So, well, Turd'L, it's getting that time. It's getting dark.
It's cold.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Yeah.
My battery's going to die. I don't know if that's connected to my battery or not.
My toes are numb.
Yep.
Turtle's got his his Sacagawea puffy on.
My hands are shaking. If that's why the sound sounds weird.
The mic's away from his face. But thanks for coming back on the show.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in town, we'd love to have you on. And congratulations on not just Wasatch, but the whole journey there. I mean, dropping 50 pounds, man. That's insane. That's so awesome. And now you look like I'm used to seeing now. Like when I first saw you, after a while, I was like, whoa.
Well, it kind of creeps on you. You know what I mean?
It does.
You don't really notice it. And then when you lose it, you go, oh, yeah, you were fat.
Well, it's because you see pictures. Like when you're doing it,
it's the
you don't
worst
know.
when you look back.
You don't
like,
know.
You look back at
right.
a race picture when you're fat. You're just like, oh God,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Dude.
Yeah.
You're like, what, that's when you like look at your friends. You're like, you were no friends.
Put down the cheeseburger.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Put down the fried green olives, bacon wrapped.
Oh,
fried
no, I'll
green
still
olives.
eat those.
Oh, really? Those are good.
Bacon
I was going to
wrapped
say, I don't
olives.
know what that's about.
Oh, yeah, they're down in St. George.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hit those
You
up
got
when we're down there.
poutine down there?
No, I don't have poutine, but I can make it. I know how to make it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've known a few Canadians. They taught me the secret.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
You're a tough one to believe.
I used to make poutine in the bus.
I don't even want to know about any of that either. Those were a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
I used to make poutine. I used to make poo-poo in the bus.
I was going to say, I just had bet those. I'm going to make poutine in the bus if we don't wrap this up. Right?
You got a garbage can?
Yeah. There's a sprinter next to me.
There's some doggy bags over there by the trailhead.
Oh, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Man, episode 98. We're getting close.
We are.
I thought it was Nueve Ocho.
Yep, that's what I said.
We got some special for 99.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on for Nueve Ocho.
This is your, third time? Fourth time? What did we decide? Fourth time?
Fourth.
Yeah. Because the last time was third time as a charm. Third time as a charm.
Right?
Char. Third time burns. Charge you.
Talk take two.
Well, we love having you on. I know our listeners enjoy it. I know everybody kind of followed you this year's Wasatch, so congratulations again. We'll look forward to seeing you, if not before Capstone. We'll see you at the Stone. All right, thanks, Turd'L. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners Podcast. We'd like to thank our good friend Turd'L Miller for taking the time to join us today. We also encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by the website at trailmanners.com. From there, you can hit our store page for some swag and rights, or hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.